I saw something that might be controversial. Isekai is great, actually. That's the video, and here's a controversial part. I kind of like it. Not the video, I haven't seen that yet, but I'm an Isekai fan. It's trash anime, but goddamn, is it really fun trash anime. It's just good enough that you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. But it's just bad enough that if I'm doing something else, like just playing a game, kind of chilling and just like, mellow. It's great. I don't need to be super intense on it. If I want that, I'm going to watch something like, Gurren Lagann again, because I absolutely love that. And technically it's trash, but also I absolutely love it. You can judge me for that one. I'm perfectly okay with that. I deserve it. I'm still doing it, though. So, yeah, these guys are great niche until you get the great ones like Jobless Reincarnation, Mashoko Tensei, I think. So, I want to see what Gigguk says here. Sometimes I agree with his takes. Other times I don't. He said abridging was dead. And while it technically isn't dead, it's just put on such a long tether that it's practically dead. It's dead like in The Princess Bride as opposed to anywhere else. Basically what I'm saying is I'm really curious to see what's going to happen, and honestly I might take this as a few recommendations for what anime to watch. It's like he does a series on that or something I should probably check out. That's probably just my imagination. Otherwise, you guys know the deal. Link below, original video, hit it up. Let's get started.
Art, I don't want to alarm you. Gigguk is talking about Isekai again!
In the beginning?
Really? You're doing that stupid warble effect from ReZero? I don't even watch that anime because honestly I can't stand the main character. I know, I just went on to think about how I like Isekai, and one of the most famous ones, I just can't stand the main character. I actually, oddly enough, like the characterization of everyone else. Just not him. At all. I don't know why. I've watched anime with dumber characters. He's the one that annoys me. Yeah, I have weird standards apparently.
There was darkness, and then God said, boom, let there be light. So
can we all just give him a second just to bask in the fact that he said, let there be darkness, or there was darkness, and he didn't put her on the screen? Yeah. Okay. Appreciation over.
he created Sword Art Online. This happened in the prehistoric era of 2012. By now, we all know the origin story of the modern isekai genre and how it's come to saturate the anime market. It's been almost a decade since the initial isekai boom, so you'd think after all this time, audiences would finally start to get bored, and yet somehow we don't seem to be getting less, we see...
Wait. Sword Art Online? Motherfucker, what the hell are you talking about? Digimon! Escaflowne! Dude, off the top of my head! And then there's Magic Knight Rayearth, which is also, like, some of the old classics from Clamp are isekai. Actually, now I think about most of their initial classics were isekai. Depending on how you view X, it's more post-apocalyptic, but... honestly, that's its own entire thing. Starting with Sword Art. I wonder if he's going to mention them earlier, that there were like protos that did fit isekai perfectly as a genre, but it wasn't considered its own yet, because that's not exactly a new trope.
Seem to be getting more. So that begs the question, if you're not watching isekai, and you're not watching isekai, and you're not watching isekai, then who's watching all the isekai? It's me. I watched a lot of isekai last year, and I know I've played my part in giving the genre the image that it has, but I honestly think that the genre might be on the path to a brighter future. Don't mind me just taking my daily dose of copium. I think
I mean, normally I would agree with him, but... I'm just looking at all these anime, and some of them I recognize. Oh yeah, Faraway Paladin. That was... okay. Never felt great, but it was never bad. Just was like, okay. Don't know that one. Oh, that's the one that I think Connor was playing in. Sea Dog VA was the villain. It was weird. Not bad, just weird.
2021 was one of the strongest years for isekai for, like, possibly the history of isekai. And, like...
Again, I'm going to go back and say that Digimon is a thing. You know, the first series, like, third season was goddamn amazing. I'm going to stick to that one.
I thought we all agreed that the genre was already stale like 5 years ago. So today I thought I'd break down just what's going on with isekai today, why I think it's here to stay, and the number one thing I still absolutely hate about the genre. Anime. Spoiler alert, it's not what you think it is. I swear to God, this isn't Stockholm Syndrome the video, alright? It's no secret that...
Seriously, he actually... He actually put... Is that him or Joey? I think that's Garn. Okay, that's him. I thought for a second that was Joey. It was probably the beard.
Video, alright? It's no
jeez.
secret that Isekai doesn't really have the best reputation among anime fans, and I...
Wait, what was that one? Oh. Death March to the Rhapsody, or the... Yeah, to the Parallel Rhapsody. This one is... I watched it. The first episode was interesting. It was unique. I liked how it broke things down horribly. And if I had stopped watching it there, it would have been better. It's not badly voice acted. It's just average. It's not badly animated. It's just average. The story sucks. There is none. Nothing happens of any value after the main character dies to get isekai'd. The way he's isekai'd, the setup to it is interesting and unique, and then the payoff is literally in that first episode, and then everything after is like, oh, neat. I wasn't expecting to be triggered here, but this is one of those animes, like, literally the first episode is its own storyline, and if it ends there, it's actually good, and everything after that. It's not just like the picture in the background where Jar Jar Binks is that. Oh, no. Gigguk is being way too nice right here. This should be Jar Jar, and this should be Jar Jar, and he should have just photoshopped a few more in the background, and Jar Jar himself should actually be replaced with a really terrifying Darth Vader. And then halfway into the image, he should flip it to another Jar Jar with two heads of Jar Jar, because it is that kind of dissonance there that it's just like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, I didn't realize how strong my feelings about this show were until I started going on this one. Oh, wow. Yeah, again, I would actually recommend the first episode and nothing else.
Fans, and I absolutely see why. The same bland, overpowered protagonist being transported or reincarnated or summoned to that same RPG world with the same harem living the same self-insert power fantasy. The Isekai genre definitely went through an extended phase.
This one causes me pain. It's just bad.
Where we got some shit.
How to summon Demon Lord? Smartphone. I'm standing on 1,000 lives, and I'll be honest, how not to summon a Demon Lord is... it would have done better as an off-brand. They wanted to go there. They did a few times in ways that they not so tastefully censored. But it would have probably been better as an off-brand. Oddly enough, the story isn't bad. It actually has interesting characters, and there's some character development. Not as good as it should be, but it feels like they decided to tone it down at the last second, and that was a mistake. I know it's based on manga, or a light novel, and I think they should have just gone full-on off-brand with it. It would have actually been better. Just not have to censor themselves and put in some weird things when they were like, you know what? We're not going to do it all the time, but let's just do it now to make it awkward. Yes, the censorship made it awkward, not the actual awkwardness of it, which was also awkward if you weren't expecting that and you were watching with your wife, and... yeah, that was a thing. I couldn't stand this one. This one's annoying. And we're just not going to talk about that one.
Like, a lot of shit.
Oh, the mom one? I don't recognize this one. The family one, actually, I'm going to say that's actually pretty good. This one's mid. It's the Beast Tamer one. I think that's Sword Art Online down there. Politician Samurai? Never even heard of that one. This one, though, I think that's the book one. I can't remember the name. Ascendance of a Bookworm. It's fine. Gets kind of dark. It's not bad. I prefer the first season before things are like, oh, you can never do anything because everything's horrible forever. Yeah, it does kind of reach that level without actually being that high. It's unique.
Like, stinky, poopy.
A few of them were very much that, though.
Sure, there were outliers that stood out, but a lot of us got bored of the scene very, very, very quickly. And if you ever wondered why it was ever like this, then you have one place to blame. Shousetsu ni Naro. This is a site where users can post their own web novels for others to read, kind of like the YouTube of light novels. ReZero, Slime, Soma Spider, Overlord, Mushoku Tensei, Shield Hero, Konosuba. If there's an isekai, big...
Wait, they were all from the same website? Wait, people just published their stories for free and then they were picked up as anime? Dude, the one time I could think of that happening in the West was literally... oh, I hate having to make this reference. 50 Shades of Grey. You know, that thing. Which made me go and stop and think, unironically, You know, maybe Stephanie Meyer's wasn't so bad by comparison. Unironically.
Or small that's come out in the last 10 years.
Wait, what was that last one? Or small? Also, the ones he named here are all amazing.
Say Shield Hero, Konosuba. If
Not a big fan of Shield Hero, oddly enough. Just don't like the
there's
characters.
an isekai, big or small,
I don't have any idea who that character is. It's a distinct staff and generic, probably a love interest who doesn't actually win or is in the harem that you forget about. I have no idea who that is or what anime she represents, and that actually bugs me.
that's come out in the last 10 years is probably come from here. So when I'm talking about modern isekai, what I'm really referring to is naroke, or stories that have come from this one site. And if you look at the stories that have been adapted from here, you'll basically see how...
So that's what he meant by starting with Sword Art Online was a light novel from this website? I'm probably missing something, but it makes sense why he's cutting off the things that would be isekai from an earlier genre, just classified as fantasy, and being in another world was just something that happened, as opposed to that being a main defining feature of it. Even if it actually was. Again, I'm looking at you, Digimon.
much it's had an effect on the modern isekai culture. If you've ever wondered why a lot of modern light novel adaptations feel so fucking homogenous, isekai or not, it's probably because the source material originated from here. And if I'm allowed to put my tinfoil hat on for a moment and speculate based on other sites with user-generated content, all of this kind of makes sense. Remember when Casey Neistat started posting and then every YouTuber vlog needed to be a Casey Neistat style video? Or when Mr. Beast blew up and then everyone to this day is still trying to market their videos like a cheap copy of Mr.
I remember that one. Oh, wow. That was... Dude. I actually kind of want to watch that video now. Also, he's even calling himself out for the Mr. Beast knockoff. And I'm just thinking, there's a guy whose entire channel is literally copying Mr. Beast as heavily as he can. I'm just thinking, one, that's stupid. Two, not for the usual reason where you're just copying someone, but because it's Mr. Beast. What the hell, man? That is a level of dedication that even copying him is impressive. I don't even look at that and go, what? No. It's actually a really simple thumbnail. I think I could actually do that if I would actually thought to do that. I would never think to do that. Neat.
Beast? Well, imagine the same kind of influence between creators being permeated through an entire generation of web novel authors on a
so they're
single
basically
site.
writing what they've had and
Understands
letting
why
their
a lot of
influence
isekai and
over-control
fantasy
them.
stories feel like they are copying from each other. Why do light
Yes,
novel
they are.
titles sound so fucking dumb? Well, it's because they are literally clickbait to get users to click on their story, like you see with YouTube videos. Except imagine if I...
He did it again. Also, it does make sense because trends do kind of blend together. So you want to stay in the trend at least to get some initial videos in. Or some views, or some initial thought process. Huh, and that's actually happened in light novels. That's actually really cool.
YouTube videos get turned into professionally published works and you're stuck with titles like I got addicted to VTubers and regret everything. Honestly,
Is this before his wife became a VTuber? Because I'm surprised he didn't cut this out.
that's not a bad title for a light novel. Content creators will
Wait, what is it? I got addicted to VTubers and I regret everything. I'm pretty sure, and I can't believe I'm saying this. How long ago did this come out? 11? This was only 11 months ago? I'm pretty sure I've seen an anime that has this kind of title. Something about how it's like some type of isekai about being a VTuber and then doing something else. It's an isekai into a VTuber, which is weird in its own right. I only saw it because it just came up on one of those like weird, hey, here's something that's just being published now and it might even get translated, which is weird because I don't read them. I'm lazy. But I think this actually might be a title now or something close to it. Also, choosing Mori. Again, considering his wife, daring.
light novel. Content creators will naturally gravitate towards the type of
brought up
content they
Nux.
see doing well no matter what platform they're on. It's something we see
is that the
with
cinnamon
any
challenge?
site,
Oh, God.
YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Does that excuse the amount of mediocrity that's come from there? No, but it does give a bit of an insight into why so many isekai were made, and sets the stage for the state of the genre today. Recently, it really feels like the isekai anime being adapted has finally started to find its own footing, and we're moving past the point where shows were defined by a single cheap gimmick. Well, we're in another world, except this guy has a smartphone, and this guy has a mum, and this guy has a vibrator. Instead, more often,
I'm going to say nothing because I'm afraid someone will say, yes, it's exactly what you think, exactly like you think, and you should have never said anything. And you know what? They're right, imaginary person who doesn't actually exist yet because I didn't ask the question. Thank you. I'm going to pretend I didn't even hear anything he just said.
I think we're seeing actual interesting concepts that get explored in more depth, like people are starting to realize that audiences want more than just the same power fantasy show with some dumb fuck gimmick. Slime Season 2 took its premise and then fully leaned into becoming a civilization-type city builder where Rimuru actually encounters problems he can't just solve with force, makes hard decisions, makes mistakes, and then fully...
But didn't he also solve the final problem with force at the end? And teamwork. And also because it was never really a problem because someone else was actually sandbagging and just having fun.
Suffers the consequence of it. The world's finest assassin said, let's isekai John Wick. If you take someone who's already skilled and powerful in the real world, how would he use his skills and knowledge to break the system?
What? Oh, I think I heard about this one. I think I watched the first episode and was actually more interested about him before the isekai because it was kind of cool. So he's basically John Wick. I kind of got the impression. I wasn't sure that it would actually go that far. Maybe I need to pick this one up.
Presented in a fantasy world. What happens when a goddess isekais more than one person to get the job done? What will the majority of people do? Realist Hero takes a really interesting look at what happens if we take modern psychology and apply it to governing a medieval...
This one honestly seemed more like power fantasy than anything else. Oh wait, Realist Hero? Never mind. I was thinking something about... There's a different... One is a realist hero saves the kingdom, and the other one is something about how... I think it's also a realist hero. Basically, it's one is an isekai, one isn't. Maybe this is the isekai version. Oh, it's the Genius Prince is the one I'm thinking about. Never mind. Genius Prince, good. Realist hero, honestly, yeah, that one felt like a lot of very forced... Wow, you're a genius. This is going to work because you're a genius type situations where the Genius Prince one, oddly enough, thought he was a dumbass, was a genius, but didn't tell you that. It showed you that, and then heard him talk about how much he was lazy while actually showing him having good worth ethic. I cannot speak to ethic. There's the word. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with him. Realist hero, not good. It was more wish fulfillment than the power fantasy ones. At least the power fantasy ones showed you someone being strong. The equivalent in a shonen would be, okay, this guy's tough. They're powerful. They can beat you in one hit. And then we have a slice of life the entire time, but only to have people hype up how much this guy is powerful, and it never happens. Except for the one time, he's just like, ha, you can't fight me. And they're like, you're right, you are too powerful. Everyone says so, I quit. And walks away. That is what I thought of that show. I not bad, not badly acted. It felt unearned.
Evil fantasy setting, Machiavellianism, game theory. Eventually in the manga, it gets to the point where we're using examples from the Cold War, capitalism, fighting communism. The main character takes lessons we've learned from our own history and applies what has historically worked for us in another world.
Yeah, but every step of the way, it was a matter of, this is going to work because I say it will. It worked for us here, so it definitely is going to work somewhere completely different. It's the same logic as shoving a tank bullet into a BB gun. See, this tank bullet's more powerful. It'll definitely work better. I'm not a gun expert, but I think there might be a bit of a difference there. Sorry, this one actually bugged me because the wish fulfillment aspect of it was so much more on display than so many other animes that just have examples of how to hide it better. Now, the fact that it was going a more political route, I will give it props for. That's why I started watching, because I thought that was interesting. The fact that it didn't know how to hide the wish fulfillment aspect of it, and it just made it seem like a power romp, but through politics. If this was a politician just scratching this out, it's like, see, if everyone just listened to me, this would be what happens. This is what I think the anime would be like. Exactly like it is now.
These are just some of the interesting ideas I came across with the shows this year, and many of them, aside from the basic premise and setting, explored totally different subjects and ideas. Like, now, just because you see several isekai airing in a single season, that's no indicator that the shows will actually have anything in common with each other. Mushoku Tensei, Re:Zero, My Next Life as a Villainess, Sentence of a Book.
Okay, that one, again, I've talked about that one. That's a really good one. I know this next one. Yeah, Next Life as a Villainess. I like this one. It's good. It's basically an entire case of, hey, main character knows what's going to happen. So we're going to fuck with her and give her all the time to realize she's screwed and never let her be smart enough to realize she's no longer screwed because she's actually an idiot. Everyone else around her has already changed. She's not in any danger and she's making it worse for herself, which ironically is making it better for herself. Yeah, if she was a little more self-aware, she'd realize she doesn't actually need to be the way she's trying to act anymore to save people. Which is ironically what's making her life so much better because she's trying. The forced stasis is actually making it worse. It sounds weird when I put it this way. Basically, it's a really well thought out show describing a very dumb person doing very dumb things in very interesting ways.
Villainess, Sentence of a Bookworm, Restaurant in Another World.
Oh, I forgot that was an isekai. I actually forgot all about this being an isekai altogether. Technically it is. Although, not how you think. I don't think the restaurant ever leaves Earth. The connection door does leave Earth, though. Like, the door actually goes different places and brings people from Fantasy World to the restaurant. And it's incredibly cool, and you find out all the little caveats in the first episode. And it's just character exploration. It's like seeing, here's how the different types of the world fit together. And they can come and then have some amazingly drawn food that you should never watch this anime when hungry, because if you do, it's a problem. They go way too hard on the food porn. Way too hard. It looks, not all of it looks photorealistic, but enough of it looks good that you're just sitting there going, I wasn't hungry. Now the freaking bag for an Oreo container that I already finished looks good because it has a picture of it and I'm tempted to start nibbling on it to see if there's any crumbs. Yeah, it's good. It's a good show. Very relaxing.
Another World. These are all isekai set in your traditional fantasy world that are completely independent of each other in plot, tone, characters, and appeal. I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 years has more in common with Dragon Maid than it does with the other isekai with slime in the title. Is there still a lot of garbage being made? Yes, but it's no longer as relevant to look at a new...
Wait, what was that other one over here? Hot garbage being made? Oh, The Last Dungeon Boonies. That one was... I wouldn't say it's garbage. It's very generic and not that great. It's fine. Spirit Chronicles was also fine. Interesting storytelling technique. Very weird. Not sure if it was good or not. I finished it. I couldn't tell. Not bad, though. No idea what that is. No idea what that is. Oh, The Great Sage. That one was... You can tell where after maybe like 6 episodes, they kind of stopped understanding what the hell they're writing and just went off into whatever the hell they wanted to do. And it wasn't bad. It was good. If anything, a 6-episode run would have been better for it, but the 6 episodes in the second half were fine. It was good. And, oh, this one over here, this isn't an anime. That's an isekai. Yeah, this one's the I Quit the Hero's Party. That's not an isekai at all. That's just a flat-out fantasy. Everyone was there, born into that world. It's just how it is. So that's actually not an isekai in the slightest. And it's actually good. I think they kind of tried to speed up the second half of it a bit too much because the first half was slow as fuck. But they took their time to really establish the characters and how he fit into the area to do it. So the slow pace actually worked good, especially when you had those moments where you saw the party he left and it was fast paced and things happened there. So you got the good juxtaposition. And then the second half happened and it's like, we got a lot of plot we need to move through before the season ends. We don't have a full season of 25 episodes. We have a full season of 12 episodes. We need to go a lot faster. And it was good. Yeah, I liked it. If there was a second season, I'd watch it. Yeah.
Yes, but it's no longer as relevant to look at a new show and say, it's not like your typical isekai, because a lot of isekai are no longer like your typical isekai. I don't know if this is sounding like massive isekai copium right now, so I just want to go on a little tangent to look at what I think might be a similar case that happened for gaming, the shooter genre. I remember when these first exploded onto the scene and you couldn't get away from them. Halo revolutionized console shooters, setting the blueprint that many modern shooters still use to this day. Halo 2 set the stage for online gaming, only for Call of Duty 4 to skyrocket shooters into the mainstream, and from there on, there was no turning back. Your friends started playing shooters, your brothers and sisters and your cousins started playing shooters. Heck, I think I even caught a glimpse of your grandma playing Search and Destroy on Terminal once. Shooters were absolutely innocent.
Yeah, don't joke. Grandma's playing this. They're terrifying, man.
Escapable, and there was a point where I swear every big game release was a shooter or had some kind of fucking shooter mechanics in it.
Yeah.
Shooter after shooter after shooter after shooter.
Including games that didn't really make sense to do
the same copy and paste game from every big company trying to cash in on a quick buck. Oversaturation was a real thing, and gamers were getting visibly fatigued by them all. So, 20 years later, what do we have to show for it?
More shooters.
Well, Halo's got a grapple hook now. As tired as we got of shooters.
I would like to thank Gigguk for giving Halo Infinity probably the nicest possible review anyone who's ever done anything about this would ever say. It has a grapple hook. That is the nicest thing I've heard literally anyone say about it in probably months, if not the entire year. Yeah. I was kind of upset that it wouldn't have a story mode at first, and it was just all multiplayer. And then I heard how bad it was, and I was like, you know, maybe they made the right choice.
Got a grapple hook now. As tired as we got of shooters, they never really went anywhere, but instead carved out its own corner in the industry that is still consistent to this day.
Heck, even Fortnite would come from this.
Or Halo Combat Evolved? No, but what we did get was small tweaks and innovations that slowly meant that different shooters could find their own niche. You want something more on a grand scale of battles with vehicles? Well, go play Battlefield. Want something more team-based and tactical? Well, Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six is a thing. Colorful abilities? How about Overwatch? Battle Royale 2? Well, good thing Apex exists. Oh, you just want to see your childhood ruined? Well, there's still Fortnite. I don't know why Itachi gets so much flack from...
I'm sorry. I don't play Fortnite. I'll joke about it. I know they have so many characters. I knew Naruto was in there. They actually have the... Really? I'm just going to pretend this is edited, that he's not actually... Well, it makes sense. Naruto's the one doing it. They actually put it in the game. Oh. Hi everyone, and welcome to Airier losing his faith in humanity. He didn't think this would happen today, but it did. And now I regret everything.
There's still Fortnite. I don't know why Itachi gets so much flack for murdering the Uchiha clan, where Sasuke right here is quite clearly murdering
that one I knew about. I think
legacy.
it's silly because
the term
Sasuke.
shooter in the first place
I don't care about
such a broad term for a game where you point at something, then click a button for that object to commit die. And I think this could be what Isekai is turning into for anime. Isekai could just become a staple of anime, the same way that high school is. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of anime shows set in high school, but that doesn't mean that any
some of them are Isekai too.
Have anything in common with each other. If anything, I just wish these shows put in a little bit more effort to at least look more distinct. You look at some genres in anime and you're like, damn, all of these have such distinct style and feeling to them. And then you look at...
Okay, hold up there for a second. Okay, Eureka 7, the good one. The first one. The second one is bad. I think this is 00 Gundam, if I'm mistaken. Or Gundam 00. I do not recognize the Solid Gold one. It's probably another Gundam just because Gundam is everywhere. But I don't know the Solid Gold one. Oh. That's definitely Gundam. I have no idea which one it is, but it's definitely Gundam. And Gurren Lagann. Nice.
And you're like, damn. All of these have
Anyone
such
knows what the gold one is? Let me know. I'm actually curious.
And then you look at Isekai and you're like...
They're the same picture.
They can't actually be that bad. So, Shield Hero, don't know. Smartphone, don't know. No, that's Beast Tamer, I think, which was really... Or is that Isekai Life? I honestly don't know. I heard it was bad, and I got forward very fast. Don't know. Sword Art Online, don't know. And don't know. They all... Even the little hair in the... I thought it was a joke at first, but no, it all kind of looks like the same guy. Hell, with very few exceptions, they all have kind of grayish eyes. Green, purple, and brown are the standouts. I guess that's kind of green. That's more gray, anything. Wow.
It's like every show is still using the same two character designers with the same fucking color palette that just melds into one conglomeration of generic mess that makes it impossible to discern any of these shows at just a glance. But you know what? Baby steps. At this point, Isekai is just comfort food for me. Sometimes it is still the same copy and paste show. Yes, there is still a lot of trash out there, but more often now, you'll find these neat little ideas packaged into the same familiar formula you've seen that will make you take a step back and think, huh, That was actually pretty damn fun. I'm not saying Isekai suddenly turned over a new leaf, but what I'm saying is in 2021, it didn't feel as cheap anymore, and there was more variety than ever for a genre that is apparently all the same. I do think it still has one massive problem, but it's just not the one everyone seems to complain about.
So far, before he goes into what's most likely to be very depressing, all I'm getting from this is it's getting better, it's starting to branch out, it's getting through the growing pains. But I probably should check out that Assassin in Otherworld anime. Maybe that's a really good isekai. I don't know. I haven't seen more than the first episode, and I was okay with it. The pre-isekai stuff seemed more interesting.
Because to me, the one biggest thing I wished would change is that there needs to be an isekai that has an ending. In almost a decade of the genre, I don't think I've seen a single one come to a conclusion, and it's kind of getting to me. Pretty much the only ones I can think of are shows that came before the modern boom.
Again, Clamp. Magic Knight Rayearth. Pretty sure this was Escaflowne right before it. Yep, Escaflowne. Had an ending. Even an anime movie that was fine, but honestly, I think I still prefer the TV show more.
Came before the modern boom. All of them, even the so-called good ones, don't feel like they've gotten anywhere close to being finished. No Game, No Life, more like no Season 2, no more. Overlord? Yeah. Overlord of half a fucking kingdom. Rising of the Shield Hero? Yeah, this is more like the slight incline of the Shield Hero. ReZero? More like zero chance of ever seeing this end. Okay, that was awful.
Yeah, that one's probably accurate. Although Slime has a good point right now where it doesn't feel done, but at least it feels complete. Although I know there's technically a lighthearted spin-off series and more manga books. No, wow, manga books. I feel horrible for saying that. More light novels being put out, so there's a further story going down, but I don't know it.
Problem with modern
Can't think of
isekai
anything
isn't
else,
that
though.
they are bad. It's that they're so damn disposable. We start with one isekai, have a bit of fun, and then just move on to the next one, and then forget about all of them. It feels like a lot of the times writers come in with a single interesting idea, explore it, and then have no idea where to go, so the readers lose interest or the writer just stops. I've seen so many heroes journeying to take on a demon lord, and not a single one has ever reached his doorstep. There doesn't feel like there's anything close to a complete story, and instead of focusing on finishing one, it feels like the focus for anime is making 6 more. And because of this, nothing has any staying power. We don't see any stories reach their maturity, and because of this, it becomes so vapid. Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, Overlord, it's series like these where you can see the foundations being laid for a full-blown tale. There is depth, there is characters, there's a thought-out world behind it. It feels like these shows are actually trying to tell a full story rather than coming in with a few interesting ideas and
Okay, this just got painful because I'm trying to rack my brain now, and I can't think of a single one that's ended prior to the old ones where they had the story and then they finished it, because these are all, they're light novel based, so there's no actual end when they started adapting them. Yeah. Huh. Still, it's not as bad as Inuyasha never ending. And then they had to change the title to ensure people, no, we swear, it's actually going to end this time. And then they made a sequel.
Fucking off. ReZero just spent an entire fucking season in one place so they could say, hey, let's have Subaru stop dying so cheaply, let's make Amelia an actual character. And while lots of people may have found the slower progression boring, I respect the fact that I had the confidence to spend the time to really flesh out sides of these characters we never got to see in season 1. And Mushoku Tensei is, well, you already know how I feel about Mushoku Tensei. If there was a show that could lead the charge for all the changes I wanted to see, this could be it. Because unlike most other isekai, the source material is already done.
What?
Yes, it has a fucking...
Oh, I was unaware of that. I knew the light novel series was going on. I didn't realize it was actually done, and it only took 3 years. Less than 3 years because it started in November and ended in April. 25 volumes in less than 3 years. Holy crap, man! Depending on how long those volumes were, that's a freaking Stephen King right there.
Ending. That's why I hope to God that these types of shows will get the chance to fully follow through with the story they want to tell.
I hope so.
Attack on Titans, My Hero Academias, and Demon Slayers, they get the seasons, all the seasons they rightfully deserve, because I don't feel like we're even close to reaching the peaks these stories could tell, and I think it's only when we do get the chance to see some of these peaks that Isekai can start being taken more seriously. I think this is the one thing single-handedly stopping Isekai from eating at the big boys table, where we don't have to feel like pointing at these shows we like and say, no guys, this is a good show for an isekai, and instead just saying, no guys, this is just a good show. In conclusion, isekai will never die. It just gets reincarnated into another
That was bad, and I should have expected nothing less because it's the perfect usage of that one. But goddamn, do I regret not seeing it coming. Okay, so other than that admittedly horrible joke at the end, I didn't disagree with him nearly as much as I thought. I kind of figured, you know what, he's going to have some kind of take I don't quite disagree with, maybe don't quite agree with either. We'll see what happens. And while a lot of the points he brought out had reasons, and I kind of wish he had got right away to classifying the setting he was going for as this is the exact genre and why it's there, I'm glad he had it in there, and it just makes sense. Everything off that one board, it's kind of homogenizing the isekai genre to make it a genre, but also there were things before it, and he did acknowledge it. The fact that he didn't pull up Digimon, yeah, I mean, you gotta pull up the goat. Talking about isekai, it's literally an entire thing based around, hey, let's send a group of kids to a different world to solve all our problems. Yeah. That said, I kind of agree with a lot of this. What I was a little surprised about, how many of these anime I was absolutely triggered to remember. Not because they were bad, but because the more I remember about them, the more I'm like, I regret remembering them. Yeah. You know which one, and I will not say its name. I'm just going to leave it there. But overall, he makes a good point, and I'm still a little disturbed. I can't think of any that have actually ended. There's some that come to good places, and then there's some like Restaurant to Another World, which is just relaxing, and the format doesn't really have an end because it's not episodic in nature, or it's not a series of progressions in nature. It has storylines that can continue, but it feels like you're getting a glimpse into a world, which is also why you see people in there who were from before, whose storylines are wrapping up in the show itself that you weren't introduced to until you saw them wrapping up, and how they then started other storylines. It's literally just a snapshot of life going back through time and forward and seeing how things go. It's just a really good show. I'd recommend it if you like things that are relaxing and have food. Again, make sure to bring something to eat. It will be a problem otherwise. But just, yeah. Surprisingly agreed with a lot of this. So if there's anything else you guys want me to see, let me know. If there's something specifically on Gigguk's list that I should check out, let me know. I'm just kind of curious at this point. Otherwise, you guys know the deal. Link below, original video, hit it up. And when you're done, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know, usual stuff. It's YouTube. It helps. Otherwise, see you guys in the next one. Adios.